Welcome to Geeks Corner. I'm Mr. DAPs.
I'm Katie.
On the set of the Jim Henson film Labyrinth, George Lucas arranged for Darth Vader to hand Henson a good luck card personally.
All right. Is that true?
It is true.
Okay.
That is true.
Fact.
It wasn't an unknown fact this week, though. Who are you?
And I'm Cameron.
And what do you want people to do?
Learn more, generally. Like, educate yourselves.
The more you know.
Use the hashtag Geeks Corner to tell us stuff, mostly about what we're going to talk about, because that'd be great. Or just tell us things that you think we should know, I guess.
What do you think we should know?
You never know until they tell you.
I do. Star Wars Episode 9 has a new director.
Yay!
Transition.
Yeah, wasn't that good? I just
good.
was like, there, go, done. J.J. Abrams will be directing Star Wars 9. We talked a little bit about it last week, if I recall.
Talked a lot about it last week.
Yeah, because that Trevorrow guy isn't doing it anymore, so we were kind of speculating who would come next, and earlier in the week, Rian Johnson's like, nope, not me, I'm looking forward to watching it, which I thought was a clever way of kind of diffusing.
Gracefully bowing out?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he probably already knew that JJ was doing it.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
And so now that we do know that JJ is the new writer-director for Episode 9, first off, what are your thoughts? And second off, do you think they can make this script work in however many months before production? Because they got like 4 months.
Well, they've already postponed it again. That is confirmed, I'm pretty sure, to December.
Is it?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. They've confirmed that it's postponed to December. So they
Which
have
doesn't surprise me.
Yeah,
That's what they did with him before.
Yeah, so they have a little bit more time.
So that means it will be at least as good as The Force Awakens because it's taking the same track.
Yeah, and they've already announced extensive rewrites before Abrams was signed on. So I have more faith in JJ as a fan of the series to be able to handle it well. I also enjoy his creative mind when it comes to finding clever solutions for resolutions, and I like that he's going to be putting kibosh on the end of this.
And I liked that he did the Star Wars sweeps.
Oh yes, in the
wipe
editing
sweeps,
technique.
whatever.
Yes,
I thought he did it very effectively, and it feels right. Was there anybody else you really wanted to see that didn't make it?
No.
Katie's like, I just want to watch the movie.
Pretty much.
I'm
like, it's really cool that all this is happening, but
she's like, I just hope the Millennium Falcon makes it through the next movie, so it's in episode.
Don't say that. Oh.
Some
no.
people are worried about who might die, and Katie's really just worried about the Millennium Falcon.
I have a tattoo to present.
And also BB-8.
Are you going to edit it to match the burning ship?
Do you edit tattoos? Is that how that
What
works?
if
Photoshop, right?
What if a Star Destroyer just like goes right through it with the nose?
Well, that would be impressive considering the size difference of a Star Destroyer and Millennium Falcon. It wouldn't go through it; it would decimate it.
Yeah.
Well, that's
100%.
kind of what I was getting
Think
at.
bug on windshield.
Splat. So you like that?
The Falcon dying?
Yeah.
No, I don't.
It would
like
be
that.
it would be an emotional moment that would take you on an emotional journey as it.
I
went
go
on
on enough emotional journeys without that.
Okay.
You've met me.
Mm-hmm.
I agree that would not be the right emotional journey for
So
personally.
the big question then is, where do you go in Episode 9
Yes.
now that we don't have Leia? Because really, what they built it as was it was going to be Han, then Luke, then Leia in this new, with Rey kind of binding it all together. Where do you go?
Well, and again, this is why it's good. It's Abrams. He's very, very good with working with source material. Now, this is actually goes back to why I agree with Katie that it actually doesn't matter too terribly much who's directing, because
He was working on the story either way.
Well, yeah, they're emulating style. At this point, what you need in a director is someone who can continue to replicate style well enough. It really comes down to storytelling and writing. So he's already working on the writing. He's now going to have much more control in relating that writing to the directing, which is great. But the gymnastics they're going to have to do as far as directing, and now that Leia is not going to be a part of it, is going to be interesting, but I think Abrams is the right guy for that job.
So you think Rey is going to take that role?
I'm curious to see. I think...
Not necessarily like what she would have done, but that, like, it's going to become a much more Rey-centric film than it otherwise might have been. Like, she becomes really the...
I'm still holding out that they might Coulson her. Like, I don't know.
No, they will not. They already said they won't.
Well, they're going to do... I think they're going to go in a direction we're not expecting. I think it's going to be more Kylo Ren-centric. Abrams, I feel like, works with that tone better anyway.
Okay.
Or at least balancing Kylo Ren to Rey a bit more.
So the next question then is for the next movie, which is The Last Jedi. Who is going to lose their hand?
Well, somebody's got to.
Yeah. Who?
K2SO.
He shows up and no hand.
That's it.
Seriously, who?
It would be real wild if it was Poe.
I was going to say, I feel like it's Finn or Poe.
Yeah.
Well, it can't be Rey because that's the obvious choice.
Yep.
I could see Luke's animatronic hand just falling off from disrepair, which I think would be highly symbolic and interesting.
Don't have him lose his hand twice.
No, here's what
Three
happens.
times.
He's an old man.
She's holding out the lightsaber. He reaches
Oh,
out
I'm so sorry. I still don't know how the button works.
It falls.
He tries to use the Force and activates it backwards.
And then we have a Han Solo Kylo Ren moment.
Oh.
Now I'm
Not
sad.
good.
Okay.
The Porg's gonna lose their hands. They actually have hands. They don't show it in any of the previews, but they've lost their hands by the time the movie rolls into its
Good.
second act.
Good. They don't need hands.
Can you imagine Porgs with fingers? Think about it.
So we were talking earlier about the potential tie-in between the original trilogy and this trilogy that goes much more beyond the obvious. And you had, it really came, I don't know if it came from the title or where you came this with revolutionary idea, but you had a conspiracy theory.
Yes.
That we've been talking about now for about 2 or 3 hours.
Yep. I like putting on my aluminum hat every once in a while and delving into the realms.
Is it
of
really
the events.
aluminum or is it just the aluminum foil?
Also, I'm proud of this one. Normally, one of my favorite things to do is just to go on to the way out of left field conspiracy theory stuff, especially Disney and Star Wars and Star Trek and all that fun stuff. But I'm proud to say I came up with this one all by my lonesome.
Aw, I'm so proud of you.
I was watching a compilation similar to what they have at Disney, the Path of the Jedi video, and I was listening again to some of Yoda and Obi-Wan's dialogue from Episode 5, which is the conversation they have when Luke is leaving prematurely to go fight Vader, and they have a conversation to the effect of Luke is their only hope. Yoda says something about, no, there is another. We've always assumed that was Leia, but I argue that it is not, or at least they're going to make it so it is not, because in Episode 6, Yoda...
Well, now they kind of have to make it not.
Yeah.
Because nothing's happened by...
Yeah.
No.
So in Episode 6, Yoda on his deathbed does say there's another Skywalker, and that's the big reveal. Spoiler. But right before he says that, you've had time.
And before most of us were alive.
Before he says there was another Skywalker, his last command to Luke is to train another in the way of the Force. He never does that with Leia. And now
that we know of,
and but they
it
would
is
have
about
hinted
it is
at
about
this
time for them to make another cartoon series, but
yeah, but they wouldn't have done because they've already shown General Leia, and if she had a lightsaber and Force abilities,
right.
she would have used them already.
Yeah.
So obviously she's Force sensitive, but that's not, in my mind, the person that Yoda would be referencing because he didn't train his sister at all. This leads to one of two options in my mind: either that is a reference to another Skywalker being Kylo Ren or Ben Solo, because that is a Skywalker that he did train and failed, which would be enough reason to send him to Nyland because he failed Yoda's last command to him. Or it could be in reference to Rey, who is somehow still a Skywalker. I think somehow Force will be spiritual related.
Midichlorians?
Why would you bring that up on this show?
Midichlorians.
Well, they bind us, surround us.
She's looking for a new role.
They're in the
show,
mic,
apparently.
in the Groot.
This is how you get in trouble on Geeks Corner, is you bring up those things that fans don't like, and then you're like, I'm the person that brings up the things that fans don't like.
Midichlorians. Let's put this soapbox down. I think they
you
got
were
into
just
way too
saved.
much detail, but midichlorians as a concept are great because I love connecting science with religion as far as like a through line.
Otherwise
I think they
known
overdid
as
it.
Star Trek.
Otherwise known as Star Trek.
Yeah. That's why I didn't like it, is because I've always liked that they're both their own entity.
And they tried to make it too Trekky in the prequels.
I
But
agree.
back to conspiracy theory. Yes, I think that Yoda and Obi-Wan both have referenced a coming Skywalker that is what we're going to see in
And the part I like
coming
with
trilogy.
this conspiracy theory is there's been lots of rumors of Yoda and Obi-Wan returning in the next movie, and this would actually
give them a reason
to show up, even if it's a flashback from things, like even if it's a flashback to exactly what you just referenced.
Yeah, showing the Yoda death scene or something.
Or no, there's another when Yoda and Obi-Wan are talking as he's flying away, and I think that could be a really interesting connection between the old and new, and you could just take those ghosts and throw them in modern day thing, and Luke can have a vision, and it would be great.
Thank you, by the way. So this is X-Wings. This is throwing in previous characters. It was great. That was very, very good.
That's galactic sign language instead of American.
I'm unfamiliar. Is that sign Arabic? I'm very unfamiliar.
I am studying. So.
Yeah, so let us know what you think is going to happen in the next 2 Star Wars movies, because it's definitely a huge unknown. And we do have a couple of guesses. Steven's saying, I could see Kylo Ren losing his hand this time around, actually. Jason says...
I feel like that's too trite, though. I
also feel like it's obvious.
Yeah.
Jason says C-3PO other hand this time, and as his body over the next 12 films turn from gold and red to a rainbow.
Although, can I just say, and this is a compliment again to Abrams, the way they brought up the red arm in episode 7 was probably the best thing. Just, you may not recognize me, I have a red arm now. Like, that's brilliant, because the months leading up to that film, everyone's, why the red arm? Why the red arm?
What's going on?
What is happening? It's red now.
Bailey says, speaking of losing hands, we haven't lost any hands on Geeks Corner for a couple of years now, since Johnny 5 lost his on our Star Wars 3D episode.
Are you saying we're due for losing hands?
Yeah, well, we are coming up on our 7th season episode, which we are. Yeah, is that what we're doing? Yeah.
Yeah.
7th anniversary?
7th anniversary.
Oops, all lost hands. That's what we're titling it.
And they go flying at the screen. Because that's what happened, is they got in the battle, and Johnny lost his hand and lightsaber, if I recall, and it went flying into the screen. If you're wearing the funny glasses, it came at you.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, let us know what you think is going to happen. And William says we need a post-centered film. I think that'd be fun. And yeah, that's good. Twitter.
That's good, Twitter. Good job, Twitter.
Other Star Wars news, Star Wars and Marvel will be leaving Netflix in 2019, going over the new Disney streaming service. Katie doesn't care. What do you think? Does this make any difference to Netflix?
I'm going to second Katie. I think Disney knows that it has a big enough bonfire that it's not going to go out.
Yep.
They know that if they transfer their Disney properties over onto one platform, there will be the good loyal cultists that we are that follow. And Netflix is not going to be hindered either, because I think they've made enough original content on their own that is going to keep them just fine and dandy.
I think in some ways it could actually help Netflix, because it forces them to become a bigger studio.
Yeah, they'll be doing more of their own work in their own direction. So isn't that curious, the way this is all going?
Isn't that curious?
Shush. People are making their own content, and it's the new frontier of
because we never do that.
Developing stuff. I love it. Well, it's helping us in a way. Because
speaking of developing content, you've got a weekly YouTube video that's coming out, and it's really good. You have Katie Creates, and you talk about your different outfits, whether it's Disney bounding or creating something else, and you've got one coming up this week. I have Sundays with DAPs, and Great Moments with Mr. Daps. And Cameron, what do you have?
Procrastination.
That's right. All right, moving right along. Speaking, you walked right into that. That was
I heard it coming. I'm like, yep, I know.
Speaking of moving right along, that was a song that we heard on Friday night at Muppets Take the Bowl.
Man, these transitions are good.
Really good.
Oh, they're killing it tonight. It's fun.
We're going to pay you more.
We're almost out of coffee. But we did see Muppets Take the Bowl at the Hollywood Bowl, and we got to see the Muppets live, which is something that you just don't get to see. Hopefully it's something that becomes a yearly tradition, because Kermit apparently said, I missed it, but I know he said it on Saturdays. He said, see you next year. And so I'm hoping that's true, and that we can go back and see him next year, because that would be really cool. But a group of us from the team, you can see our picture on the Geeks Corner Instagram, I think.
Can we play a little game? It's called Guess Which One of Us Didn't Go.
Me, I'm wearing the hat.
It's the hat.
It's the hat.
Good job using those visual cues at home, guys.
No, it was really fun. We got to see a lot of the traditional, like they did have music from literally every era of Muppets. And they had, I thought what was one of the best parts about it is they hit a lot of the great segments from the Muppet Show and then some of the movies, and it was a good balance between newer characters and older characters, and they didn't overdo it with the new stuff, which I think would have been a risk. Instead, it really clung to the nostalgic roots of the Muppet Show, and that was the format of it. And but they still had some of the new stuff. What was your favorite part? I'm gonna let you start.
Okay, so I mean, I cried aggressively, but
just punching people.
Aggressively cried. Poor Roger. He was sitting next to her.
Electric Mayhem, so good.
That was pretty amazing.
So good. That was when it hit me, where I was like, oh my god, this is really happening, and like tears just were happening, and I was like, don't look at anybody, like, and it was like one of those things where it was the Muppets were in front of me, and also, oh god, I'm crying thinking about it. Oh no, hold it together, Katie. I was with all these people, and like, you're in a stadium full of 18,000 people who have pretty much all waited their entire lives to see the Muppets, and it was like this bonding factor between 18,000 people who are all just happy to see the Muppets. And I'm gonna stop talking because I don't want to cry.
Keep going.
It was so good. That and Rainbow Connection were both those moments of, oh my god, like, this is real. This is...
I'm going to do a blitz real quick, and Tyler, you're just going to have to pay attention and hop over behind the camera. Roger, would you come sit on that the couch next to Cameron? Because you were there with us. Actually, Cameron, move down a seat.
I'm going to.
Because I want Roger to be heard, and Roger is relatively quiet, and you're relatively not. So we got all of us on there. There we go.
Doing atomic bomb, maybe.
That'll work. So Roger, you got to go with us. What was your favorite moment from Muppets Take the Bowl?
Oh my gosh, there were so many favorites. I liked all the in between the videos in between all the scene changes.
Oh yeah.
Waldorf and Statler.
Muppet Newsflash.
The Miss Piggy interviews.
Yes.
Veterinarian's Hospital.
The
Walking Bread.
All the
there was some
trends,
classic
transitions.
Yeah.
were so great, and just I don't know, even seeing Bobby Moynihan having fun and
geeking out about it.
And
how many Muppet shirts he had.
I think
he must have had like 30 through the course of the show.
A lot.
Every time he showed up, he had a different shirt on.
Yeah.
Including the chef's apron.
Yeah.
With a Swedish chef, which was great.
Yeah, the Bjork stuff.
And
it was
also,
a classic.
And also how the conductor of the orchestra got into it.
He was really into it.
Yeah.
That was fun.
I wonder if that party was any good at his house afterwards.
I think we had to ask
Pepe the Prawn.
Pepe the King Prawn.
He took over the orchestra and
for Stickies.
Yes. Yeah, I think it was Beethoven's Fifth. He turned into a Latin salsa.
Yeah, salsa dance. Yep.
And it was fantastic. So favorite song. And you can't say Rainbow Connection because that's everybody's favorite song.
That's true.
Right. I think it'd have to be the closing number. I Get By With a Little Help from My Friends.
Oh yeah, with all Electric Mayhem, and then they all came out.
And everyone on stage. I think that was it was great.
That was really fun. That was a good one. And then all the choir came out, and that was funny. I would have to go, and this is for the performance value of the moment. The more I've thought about it, I think Phenomena.
Oh yeah.
Which I've always enjoyed that song, but I won't say it's ever been my favorite. It's just kind of one of those overdone. Like, everybody knows that. Even if you don't know the Muppets, you know Phenomena. But watching the Phenomena Muppet, the Muppeteer, literally dive across the stage. And
if you were watching it on the Hollywood screens,
it looked like what you saw on TV.
It looked exactly. But when you saw
this guy was literally like diving into the scene.
You paid close attention to the stage, to what's happening on the stage. You saw the snots. And then Phenomena.
I'm sorry, what are those particular Muppets called?
That was such an Andy Richter moment. Very good.
Thank you.
I'm very proud.
I'm sitting on the end, almost off camera. So.
And it looked like Phenomena was really far away, if you paid attention, and he was just basically like an acrobat, just all over the stage.
I was amazed at how fast he was diving in and out of things.
In seconds.
And when you were watching the screen, his Muppet is steady. His Muppet is never crooked or anything. Like, it is always exactly where he intends it to be.
It was amazing.
Meanwhile, diving and leaping and jumping and rolling and adjectives and verbs. Those weren't good adjectives. I took English lessons.
Steven says, Mr. Dapp's rocking transitions, most likely deeply inspired by the masterful master of ceremonies, Kermit the Frog himself. Absolutely true. And Muppeteer Matt Vogel actually liked the tweet I did of the Muppets.
That's a nice little name drop you threw in there right there. That was very good.
Well, I don't get that very often. So I was like, wow, the man himself liked my tweet of the review of Muppets Take the Bowl, which was really fun.
Yeah.
And what was, like, if you were to, in one sentence, describe what you thought of review the show, what would you say, Roger?
I had tweeted out during the intermission, it was the show that a lot of us have been waiting to see since we were kids.
Absolutely.
Ooh, can I get cheesy?
Please do.
We know that it's probably magic. Because it was. You're welcome.
Beautiful. All right, so
Yeah, I
Muppets
know.
was absolutely fantastic. I hope they bring it back next year
That was more
because
than one sentence.
I would go. I'm closing it up, and I'm about to segue into my next section.
I ruined it.
Now it's not going to be a good segue because you ruined it. That's okay, because life's like a movie. You write your own ending, and I'm going to write my own ending.
I'm waiting for the segue.
All right, we're moving on. That's great. Halloween, we're going to jump around a little bit in the order, Tyler. So Halloween is coming to Disneyland this weekend, and it is this weekend, isn't it?
Yeah.
We can get back to our old shot, too. That'd be great. But and so we're starting to see more characters appear in costume in Cars Land. And so the first one we're going to take a look at is your first look at Mater, the vampire truck. Is that what he is?
Mater the Vampire Grader.
Yeah, that one. He's a purplish vampire. He's up there if you haven't seen him yet.
Aren't all of them?
I don't know. The one on Sesame Street is
my
the
understanding
Count.
that vampires are purple.
But there he is. There's one of them, and then we've got Lightning that was appearing in Cars Land today as well. He's a superhero because, of course. And I actually like how they did his. I thought that was pretty clever.
Yeah, that's good. That's very good.
I can totally envision him flying away, and that's fun. And then there's a couple other characters that have shown up in Cars Land this week. We've got the spider car.
I love that stupid spider.
It's a very, very popular European car. And I think there might be one more picture. Isn't that a spider?
Well, yeah,
okay.
like good European wines, it's got legs.
Yes. Is that all the pictures we got for today, Tyler? All right, so that's what we got. What do you guys think so far of Halloween at Cars Land in particular?
I love it.
Do you love it?
I like it as well.
I think it's cute. Yeah. Disney's Aladdin cast was announced this last week. Check it out. They did a picture. We've got a video. There's the picture. Look, there it is.
Wow.
We don't really know a whole lot about it yet, but that'll still be fun.
Yeah.
I think what we're going to do is we're going to end on the solo Disneyland day trip, and we're going to save your article for next week, which I had a feeling might happen, but...
we just talked too much about J.J. Abrams.
We did.
Which isn't just the show. I mean, work.
No, like,
Meals,
99% of our conversations are made up of J.J. Abrams.
It's true. JJ
That or Michael
Christ.
Giacchino.
Well, Michael Giacchino's usually in our conversations.
About J.J. Abrams.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's true. Do you notice they have the same glasses?
Have you ever seen them in the same room at the same time?
Wait, so is Michael Giacchino and J.J. Abrams the same
That's the
person?
real conspiracy.
And Mr. Daps? So Mr. Daps is also
Is that what we call a trifecta?
Maybe I could find more similarities between J.J. Abrams' backstory and yours. Because there weren't that many between yours and Michael Giacchino's, because you're fabricating something, obviously.
Clearly.
Was he
But-
born in a radioactive log cabin like Mr. Daps?
I'll look.
Yeah,
I'll
we'll
look
find that
into
out.
it.
Let's find that out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So we have a new contributor, William, who tweets along with us very frequently, is now contributing to DAPs Magic,
Yay.
thanks to his older sister, who's like, "Did you know William's a really good writer?"
She did
And I
say
said,
that.
"No, I didn't." And then he showed me his writing, and it's true. So he has,
Real.
That was a nice. And also, yes.
right? He does a great job. So she's sitting here like the proud big sister that she is, paying attention to her
She's
phone.
waving sparklers and a
And,
sign of William's name. in the
jumping
background.
up and down. She is crying tears of
I've
happiness.
never seen such exuberance.
She has William Sr. picture in her hands.
It's true. It's quite the picture.
I don't know how she got it blown up so large, but that's impressive.
It's a life-size cutout.
Yeah.
You definitely won't lose it.
Is that articulated? Can you move the arms?
Is that an audio animatronic?
So William has now done 2 articles for us. The first one was on some of the Disney news corporately, and the second one was really setting him loose, and he got to do what to do on a solo day at Disneyland. And he actually, I thought, gave a very good overview from his perspective, especially of what to do. And it was one that I wouldn't be like, oh yeah, I'm going to go watch sports at ESPN zone. And I like that he added those kinds of things in. So as we come to the end of our show this week, my question is, without spoiling his article, because you go read it on dapsmagic.com, is what is your favorite thing to do alone at Disneyland?
Oh,
it's a good question.
that's a very good question.
I know my answer.
Well, then start.
You get a cup of coffee at Starbucks, Market House, whatever, and you go ride the train 4 times.
Yeah, that sounds pretty accurate.
If the train's got too long of a line, then it's the Mark Twain. Because then you can see the train.
Oh, I think I know mine.
Okay.
One of my favorite things.
Can you sing it?
No.
Oh.
I could, but for the benefit of our audience, I won't.
Thank you.
You know, if you were wearing a suit, you'd look a lot like Andy Richter right now. It's the haircut, I think.
It is. It's the haircut and the lack of beard.
We should get him on the show while you still don't have a beard, because then, you know what? Have we ever seen them in the same place? It's another conspiracy theory. Andy Richter and Cameron Jackson are the same person.
theories.
Get your tinfoil hats, kids.
Who's the chosen one?
I thought you were going to go, get your tickets now to the Andy
Did you see what I
Richter
just did
Cameron
there? I
Jackson
did what
beard.
Cameron absolutely hates, and I incorporated the title into the show.
Yeah, and
Anyway.
I missed it entirely.
Yeah.
So, which is for the best, because I, would have thrown up.
Not
So favorite
here.
thing to do
Oh,
alone?
no.
Favorite thing to do at Disney is find usually 2 or 3 people who have no idea what they're doing. It's one of the most entertaining, fun things for me to do. Like just standing in the middle of Main Street with their map, and then just casually walk up to them and ask them what they're up to. Like it's one of my favorite things to do because.
And then what usually happens?
They run away screaming.
No, most of the time they're just like, "Oh, we want to do this thing, and this is not in a way that we understand." And then you take them to the thing, and it's very, very fun because you get to be their Sherpa for a good few minutes. It's very fun.
I have a very specific tradition when I'm in the parks alone, and
So
I
specific.
do it very frequently. That is also that I will either get a mac and cheese bread bowl, or I will get a clam chowder bread bowl at the wharf, and then I will take it to Cars Land, and I will sit in Cars Land and eat my bread bowl.
Okay, there
Because
you go.
I take a long time to eat, and I also eat like a 6-year-old. And I can sit there, and you can people watch, and you can listen
So
to every
when
song.
you say eat like a 6-year-old, does that mean it gets all over your face, or what did you mean by that? Okay.
See,
it also means that it's embarrassing. I tear my food apart before I eat it. Like I put it in you know how parents do, so they make sure their kids don't
Most
choke.
6-year-olds still can't eat with their hands. Like usually they've moved on to utensils by then.
Well, you know how they little bite-sized chicken pieces that don't choke. Oh, I don't want my kid to choke.
Isn't that like a 2-year-old?
Yeah, that's okay. Maybe I'm 2.
So if I'm understanding you correctly, you get a bread bowl
Yeah.
with mac and cheese
Yeah.
and pasta product, and then go sit in Cars Land and eat it.
Yeah.
I believe that is known as carburetor loading.
Is this show over? Are we running out of time?
Well,
That's all the time.
I was about to ask people to go subscribe, but now I think we've just lost them all.
Run and
So
tear.
why don't you just run with the end of the show, Cameron?
If you would like to see more of the travesty that is these buns, or whatever
You
else
really
we
should
talk
just
about.
come with us on Sundays to
hang out
Disneyland
with us
because
more often. Or visit thegeekscorner.com. That's the home of all this ridiculousness.
If you want to go check out dapsmagic.com, go read more about the things we talked about, go see the pictures of all the Halloween goodies, and check it out.
And make sure to subscribe to DAPs Magic and also our YouTube channel, and find us on the interwebs. We're both on Instagram and Twitter, and we're on
both three of us.
all three of it. Well, I was thinking both of those two platforms, but you can find us anywhere. But that is about all the time we have for this week. We got about 2 more weeks. I think exactly 2 weeks till that 7th season
Scary.
episode. It will be interesting.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll have a plan for it someday.
We're tricking you. We already have great things.
Oh yeah,
Great
we've got
things.
this completely planned. It's going to be a complete show of transitions
see
as we
what's under our
transition
chairs.
into our 7th
But you
season.
can't yet.
But you can't. So anyway, that's all the time we have for you this week. We will see you around the corner.